Man, dramatic event unfolds yesterday as cruise passengers are just trying to get home. We've got a government official trying to turn a cruise ship away, and man, there is a passenger out there that said Carnival should have warned them, and they're hot about it and in discomfort. Yeah, all that and a whole lot more on today's episode. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loco. Welcome to the cruise show. I am your host, Tony, here to talk you through everything going on in cruising. It's everything going on in cruising. It's for your face. It's for your face on a Monday the 7th of July, 2025. And well, I'm here in the fog. Yep, fog. The fog of Alaska, making our way to Juneau, Alaska. Juneau, the capital of Alaska. We're supposed to be there about 1 p.m., so just a few hours from now, but having a fantastic cruise here on the Royal Princess going to Alaska. But some folks that aren't having a fantastic post-cruise scenario are 55 cruise passengers that were on a bus on I-95 leaving Florida yesterday going to Georgia when the bus caught on fire. This picture is crazy. I could not imagine being in a scenario. Fortunately, none of the 55 people or the 75-year-old bus driver was injured. But listen to some quotes from the scene. There was a lady there with her 7-month-old baby who said, "I didn't even think to grab my baby's bag with her formula and diapers and things. I was just like, let's hurry up and get out of the way, get off the bus so that everybody else could get off the bus." Some people were able to get their luggage. Some people were not able to get their luggage. And at the end of the day, as you can see, you've got fire officials putting out the firemen. And this is one of those scenarios we talk a lot about having, travel insurance. I can't imagine any of us would think that we would be on transportation home and it would catch on fire and we would lose our luggage. But this is certainly a scenario where having travel insurance would be a must. I guess the big plus is that another bus came and picked everybody up. Everybody's getting home, that kind of thing. And the big plus is that nobody got hurt. That would be scary. I can't think of any times in my life where I've seen a car on fire. Maybe one or two times, in real life, and I'm sure a few times on TV. But could you imagine like a whole big bus on fire and your stuff being on it? I'm sure you'd just be glad not to be injured. Wow. Now, our next story involves a common theme that we've talked about a lot here. We've talked about cities that no longer want cruise ships, or they want to limit the amount of cruisers that are in their city, all under the umbrella of over-tourism. Too many people in our cities, and one of those cities is Nice. On July the 1st, the new ordinance went into place that limited the cruise ships that could come to Nice, and it limited the amount of passengers that could come into the city of Nice. And well, the Royal Caribbean's Voyager of the Seas, I guess the cruise ship's larger. They're only allowing cruise ships in the harbor that hold 2,500 passengers. Well, the Voyager of the Seas holds about 3,600 passengers, and they made their way to, Villefranche Harbor, and that's the harbor that you use to get to Nice. Now, one of the cruise terminals was closed, but another one was opened, and that's the one that Royal Caribbean used to offload their passengers into Nice. And well, the mayor there in Nice was none too happy about it, and so he grabbed a boat, and ironically grabbed a camera crew, and he got on the boat and he went out to confront the cruise ship. He had an official document, which you got to have an official document, am I right? He gets out there with the official document and the camera crew, and he's like, "You can't be here. I'm gonna board the vessel." Like he's making some like big statements, like he's gonna board the vessel, maybe like a pirate. I don't know. He's gonna board the vessel, but when he gets there, they don't let him board the vessel, and he doesn't get to give them the official document, and the cruise ship stays there and does what it's. But he was able to pull a couple levers, and he closed the ferry system. It's an interesting thing because Cruise Line International Association, they're working with all of these cities to try to come to some sort of appropriate agreement. And I think those conversations were going on. CLIA, they released a statement of how they were disappointed over the mayor's actions. It feels a lot like a publicity stunt. The calendar turned. It was July the 1st. The new rules went into place. And I guess as a good defender of his city, he went out there to try to make a difference. And it seemingly, based on the film crew and the denial of boarding and the denial of acceptance of his official letter. It seems like, I don't know if it did much. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think local cities should be able to do what they want to do, and that's why rules are passed and all those kind of things. But it's really bad form if there's conversations and negotiations in place to make a big spectacle. That's just my opinion. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I do want to take a quick moment and tell you about my travels into Seattle. I had fairly decent travels into Seattle. I flew from Tampa, Florida to Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville to Seattle. And everything went pretty swimmingly until we were descending into Seattle. Now, this is going to be one of those lemons to lemonade stories. We were descending into Seattle, and then at the last moment, the plane started to ascend. It started to ascend again to the point where I was like, this doesn't seem right. And I looked over, I could see one of the flight attendants, and I looked over, and the flight attendant looked at me like, I don't know, like there was some unspoken thing like, yeah, this isn't normal. And then almost after we had that, momentary glance, we could have fell in love. I don't know, but I'm already in love. We had that momentary glance. It was a dude. So look, I'm not falling for a flight attendant over Jenny. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying, mano a mano, we had a moment where something was up. And then after we had that moment, it was a beautiful moment. I just want to say that after we had that moment, the voice from above, the captain, came on and said, hey, we're going to have to circle around Seattle. There's been a bird strike. And then he quickly said, not our plane. There's been a bird strike, and the officials want to make sure that the landing area is okay for us to land. So that was cool. But the silver lining was that we got to circle around Seattle, and the mountain is out. Apparently that's what they say in Seattle when Mount Rainier is not covered by clouds. The mountain is out. So we got to go in a circle. I got this wonderful shot of Mount Rainier. I was also able to see the waterfront area with the Space Needle, and then I could even see some cruise ships. So yeah, I didn't have anywhere to be. It was already late night in Seattle, and we were delayed about 10 or 15 minutes. But yeah, it was sometimes unexpected moments are special moments, and it was pretty cool to get to see Mount Rainier showing off like that. And then the next day when we left on our cruise, or 2 days later when we left on the cruise, the mountain was still out. And there's nothing better than seeing, natural wonder with a cruise ship as the foreground. And that was certainly the case. So that was kind of cool. Now, I got to tell you about a scenario where Carnival is being accused of not being forthcoming and not warning people. And, the more I think about it, this person could be right. This is what happened. There was a gentleman that went on a Carnival cruise ship, and I guess he laid out by the pool, or he did things that were outside. And he did that with some of his skin exposed, and he did not apply any sunscreen, and then he got sunburned. And he got sunburned so bad that it blistered, and he went down to the medical facility to have them tend to his sunburn. He didn't have any travel insurance, and he was upset that they were going to charge him for medical care, and since he didn't have any travel insurance. And you can see where this is going, and you're probably feeling the same outrage that he did. Carnival didn't tell him that if he went out in the sun without any sunblock, that he would get a sunburn. And this happened to him on the Serenity deck, very famous place on the Carnival cruise ships. No warning about sun exposure, and they didn't even have any water things to spritz him. Like he couldn't spritz to be cool in the sun. Let me read you the exact quote. I don't want to misquote the guy, because I think we're all on the same page here. How dare you, Carnival? How dare you not tell somebody that exposure to the sun could lead to sunburn? And how dare you not warn people that if they don't get travel insurance, that they will have to pay for services rendered? This is what he said. He said, look, I'm on the blank, and I got an extreme sunburn with a big sort of blister starting. I mean, not really a blister, he says, so far as it's thicker than my normal skin, rippled, but this is a lot of detail, I think, but same color as my skin and on my right leg, and it hurts when I touch it. Maybe don't touch it. Maybe don't touch it. I don't know. I have no insurance, and the nurse said that on the ship I would have to pay money. They didn't disclose the amount for any treatment. I was on the Serenity area the day when I got the sunburn. There was no water spritzer bottles to cool the skin. Is water going to keep you from getting sunburn? There was no place to buy sunblock, which I don't believe that's true, because I bought sunblock on a Carnival ship. Carnival's refusal to help me is wrong. There was not any warnings or signs. Is this made up? I mean, is this made up? I guess I'll help be the messenger. If you're outside on a cruise ship and your bare skin is exposed to the sun, warning, warning, danger, Will Robinson, you could get a sunburn. And I'm pretty sure that most cruise ships sell sunblock because I've overpaid for sunblock on a lot of cruise ships. What do you think? Who's right? Who's wrong? Is this another example of Carnival's nickel and diming? First loyalty goes away and now they're out there sunburning people? Is that what's going on here? Chaos on Carnival. Look, that's everything that's going on in cruising. Now there's nothing left to do but dance. And unfortunately, I don't think I can dance here, so I'm just gonna play music for a minute, and maybe I'll put some dancers in the background. But that doesn't mean you're excused. You got to get up. Get up. See you on the Lido. Bye.